Right, what I've done with this, it's got this nice burl here. Obviously the burl bulges out. I like to keep as much of that as possible. There's only that section that hasn't got any. It's got a few knots, but the majority of the burl is about 3/4 to say 4/5 of the other way round. There's a split on both ends. Hopefully they're not too deep. I didn't have to pour a massive amount of CA glue in, but there's a fair bit. And what I did was I put thin in first, activator, more thin, activator, then I swapped up to medium. I kept on going with the medium until it was flush with the top. I kept on spraying activator in, basically so it sets all the way through. You don't want to fill it all the way to the top then spray activator, because the activator will just do the top layer until it'll still be fairly soft on the inside. I did that on both ends. I'm going to use a spindle roughing gouge very carefully, obviously not straight on at an angle, so the corners aren't being hit and causing a catch. The fastest I can get it up to without major wobbling is about 360 at the moment. I've got my glasses on. Here we go. At the moment just getting the bark off. See how that's going in a minute. Because this is I haven't got a full face mask yet, so when I got the mask on it fogs up the inside of the glasses because it's just a face mask effectively. So while it's big lumps at the moment, I've got my glasses on. When it goes to the real fine stuff, then I put my respirator, my mask. So at the moment you can hear me talk properly. Always tighten as you're going along, always keep on tightening the quill. Right, I'm going to put the tenon on this end. I'm going to put the tenon on this end. The chuck that I've got, a little bit of a teaser. I've got this U bowl that I'm making. It's got a big split. I'm waiting for epoxy resin and a Dremel burr. So I'm going to make these wider and put epoxy resin in. But obviously the tenon chuck is on this. So I'm going to have to be a bit inventive because I don't want to take this off the chuck yet. That's a bit of a teaser. This video is coming up after this one, when I eventually do it. So I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to use this tenon, this chuck. Yeah, I'll do that. That's expansion. Come back to you when I figured it out. Right, I've had some careful deliberation, if that's the word. Got it chucked up, got the live centre in there. I couldn't make my mind up whether I wanted a lidded box or a bud vase. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do both out of the same piece. That's going to be the base there. It's going to curve out, bevel, do like an outside curve, and then from that point it's going to start to bevel inwards. So it's like a vase, budded vase, but either right where it starts to bow in with a sharp edge or just slightly above. I'm going to part her off. I'm going to do something that I haven't done before in this scale, but I'm going to laminate, get some contrasting wood and put two bands, so it's going to be U, say oak, U, oak, U, and the oak and the U and the oak is going to be about thin parting tool thickness. A thin parting tool thickness. Probably a little bit too thin for me because I'm new to this kind of stuff. And it might even be that thickness. Because what I've seen with people that do laminating before, especially like with lidded box, they part it off, do the 10, and then when they put it together, the grain doesn't match up because part of that grain has been chiselled away. So that's why when I go in with the parting tool, the thickness of that parting tool is going to be the contrasting wood. So then when you put it together again, the grain is going to follow the same curve instead of having like a step outwards and then across, if you get what I mean. How that pans out, I don't know, but it's just an idea that I was having a few days ago. So this is now the opportunity to try it out. And then the bud vase, obviously, because it's going to be a lidded box, you don't want the flower, the long stem flower or whatever, going all the way down to the box. So the lidded box is going to be hollowed out. Part of the stem going up is going to be hollowed out as well for the box, and then it's only going to be drilled in so far. So there's going to be a section of wood that's still there. So when you put a flower or a small bunch of flowers in the top, they're not going to drop all the way down to the bottom. They're going to be stopped by some timber in the middle. Yeah. Whether it's going to turn out that way or not, I don't know, but I'll try it. So I'm going to finish this cigarette off first, and I'll get back to you. Get all my tools sharpened and everything ready for the first time as well. Normally I start and then have to sharpen them. So see you in a bit. Right, I obviously had that split. I wanted it a little bit longer, but right on the rim there was a split, so to set that down a little bit more, that more than likely is going to be a little bit thinner. Excuse me. That more than likely is going to be a little bit thinner, so it's not so steep a bevel. But I've got to think where I'm going to put these inserts yet. What I'd like to do, I wanted to put it right on the edge, but I think realistically the actual shape of it is going to look a bit, I don't know. So I was thinking about putting 2 inserts as well, but I might just put just the one, because I haven't got a lot of room there. I've got all these swirls here, and I don't want to cut into these swirls. They seem to straighten up about where I've put the rim. So what I want to do is I want to take a little bit more out, say about there, put the rim about, put the sharp edge about there, and have the insert about like that. But the problem is I don't want one of these holes, one of these voids. There's one there that I'll get rid of when I get rid of this shoulder, when this shoulder gets a little bit lower. But also I don't want to cut into this either. So I'm not sure how I'm going to do this yet. That's going to be cut away. That there. There's no two ways about it. I'm going to have to cut into that swirl. That swirl as it goes round. It's just those splits, and obviously as I'm turning away I didn't forward plan for that side. I'm just looking at the burl all the time. That's already cut away, so I think I'm going to have to cut into that section slightly. And what it's going to be is it's going to be yew, another species of wood, and then a tiny little bit of yew, and then the shoulder. And then the other slice of wood that I'm going to put in there, that's going to be part of the lid. So when you take the lid off, that other slice of wood comes off as well. So obviously you're going to see that section, but the other slice of wood, it's going to have to be a little bit thicker, because the other slice of wood that I'm going to put in is going to have the tenon on it to fit in. Yeah, I think I'll do that, and then I'm going to end up keeping these swirls here at the expense of this light section, a little section of that light section. So I'm going to chip away that a little bit more to get rid of that crack, that void there. So I'm going to take it to about there. See how that's not perfectly round yet either. How that's happened I don't know, because I've been chipping away. Maybe the wood itself isn't actually perfectly dry yet, and it's still slightly wet, so it's warping, which is worrying when I do the hollowing. What I might do is as well is make this a little bit deeper, because I'm taking some of the height off it. I might make that deeper, but this split here, which one is it? That split there goes all the way around, it goes down towards the pith. So no matter how deep I go there, or how thin I go, I'm still going to have that crack anyway, because even though the pith's off centre, to get rid of that split altogether, the base is going to be tiny and it's going to be top heavy. So I'm going to have to, with the Dremel and the Milliput, when it eventually turns up, just make that split a little bit wider and fill it with Milliput. But other than that split and a few cracks in the bill, which is expected, there are no splits, which I'm happy about. There's a tiny little bit there, tiny little split there, and I'll hopefully get rid of that when I go a little bit further this way. That's the plan. Hopefully I don't destroy it. Battery ran out again. Rubbish camera. I really don't want to go down any further because I'm going to get rid of so much burl if I do. I'll split crack there, which is going to be coming away. I'm going to end up having a crack right on the edge, just before the seam, just before the different wood. That's all going to be tucked away. The temptation is not to put another piece of wood in there, but so far since I've started woodworking, I've always changed plans and something's come out different to how I actually wanted it to be. So I'm adamant now I'm going to have a piece of wood in there. All that nice figure there, nice swirls. I have to make it ultra thin. I've already got that line there. So that's going to be the thickness, thereabouts. So actually it just misses that split. So I've still got a little bit of meat there just before the void. It's slightly off. Hopefully it's just the thinnest section of split that's there at the transition between you and the other timber. I'm going to finish off this, smooth it all down and think of the process behind it. So obviously when I get all this lot off, I want to be able to stick it on so this is still central. So I'll come back to you. I have my mask and my glasses. Let's see if I can do this without fogging up the glasses out. really got a lot of space either. I haven't really got a lot of space either to give myself a relief cut. So this is going to be fun. Put it in a bit more fatter to give myself like a negative rate. Give myself like a negative rate as opposed to an upwards stroke. I'm going in at an angle. I'm going in that way. Because looking through the gap, I can't see the banjo. So I think I'm going to have to take a relief cut, otherwise it's going to jam up. It's going to try to twist. So I'm going to have to go a little bit more to the left. I can't get my saw in there, so I'm going to have to take that off, and I'm just going to have to let it go. Yes. Quite bad. Thankful for this, I don't have to take that much off that way. It looks like it's actually gone straight in for about 9 to 10 millimeters. So I might just need to shave that a little bit. bob on. We're about 11mm now, and then the rest can be hollowed out.